Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, yeah.
My man, but the pride of, where are you from in Massachusetts?
Lexington.
Is that like
Revolutionary
War stuff?
Yeah, sometimes I say I'm from Lexington. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks
We
for...
lost, though. We lose
Yeah,
every year
but you know what? You took some of those... How do we... Of course we won that war. They fought in the snow with bright red uniforms on. It's like they shouldn't have lasted as long as they did.
The British.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have lost. They were highlighted.
But they had a navy, bro. That's a big deal.
I know. You have a navy and a tiny island.
Go on.
I don't know. You write a letter. You write a beautiful letter.
We have a navy.
We have a navy. If you have a navy, we have a navy. A beautiful navy. They're in the navy. YMCA. YMCA anarchy. That's what they call them.
You can hang out with all the boys.
All the boys. Beautiful boys. They got their little hats. They wear them on the side. Let you know that there's a breeze on the aft.
A breeze on the... Pete Holmes is my guest, in case you haven't noticed from your YouTube videos or... I start...
You ever type YouTube into YouTube?
No. What happens?
I'll tell you. You realize you're 46.
He's like, I thought.
You ever type Postmates into Postmates? Jesus
no, I don't
Christ.
have Postmates. I'm slumming it.
Guy. Oh, now we're there. In the Johnny Knoxville movie, which is called
Sweet Dreams.
Sweet Dreams, which you were fabulous in.
I thought you were going to say another F word.
Well, you also were sober fat. That's what we've been riffing about, how you were a very specific kind of puffy.
Well, that wasn't puffy. That was 240 pounds. I'm 190 today.
That's 50 by my math.
Buddy, so here's the deal. I was a speed guy, like whacked out on Adderall, snorting it, swallowing it, and then not going...
Why? Why not just snort it?
Or swallow it?
Thank you, Joe.
Because I'm an addict.
You just wanted to mix it up.
I take it up a notch.
But I was ready for you to be like, well, if you snort it hits faster, but if you swallow it, it lasts longer.
Well, yeah, those things are true.
It is?
Yeah.
This is when you find out that I'm clearly snorting and swallowing it.
Well, that's why we're here. This is your intervention.
What a sad turnout.
Pete, we love you, but we're not... Oh, yeah.
the
two strangers and me. I couldn't even get the Sklar brothers. They were like, it's too far. It's by LAX.
The Sklar brothers would be at my intervention. I love those boys.
I love those.
Yeah.
God, I'm powerless over them.
They're amazing.
So yeah, I was staying up all night, snorting Adderall and
swallowing it.
Swallowing it and speed.
And then when you stop, you got to get a 12-pack.
Coaching wrestling at the same time.
Wow.
So I was burning a lot of calories. And then you quit everything. You quit everything, and then you go to meetings where they serve cake every day.
Yeah, the one remaining vice.
Yeah, and then I was a
cigarettes.
big night eater. Like I eat good during the day. Even now, like I get up to take a leak, I wind up having a picnic in my hallway. Like I don't know what's going on.
You're like the 9th person to tell me this over the course of
my
God.
I
don't know, when does that, what age do you start getting up to pee and you're like, I'm going to have a sleeve of Oreos?
It's a bowl of cinnamon. I put a Lion King blanket down in my hallway. I'm laying next to an outlet watching YouTube.
Let the riff finish before you
typing
chime
YouTube
in. Let
into
it
YouTube.
Finish. Yes, but let me tell you something.
Let the riff finish.
Let the riff finish. Don't interrupt the riff. Gear of Trump we haven't heard. Let the riff finish. Why, when you sleep, your brain, this is science, releases a hormone to keep you from being hungry. That's why you can go to bed hungry and you wake up and you're not hungry. It's a hormone. It's a suppressant. What are you, just fighting through that?
I'm not hungry.
I see.
It's a craving. Like when I get up from a nap, I want something sweet. Like I want a cookie.
Yeah.
Or something.
Why?
And
I wonder. Just chasing dope? Dopamine?
No, I've had it before I ever took anything.
I didn't mean dope. I meant dopamine.
Dope, but yeah.
What an unfortunate abreve.
I don't.
Chasing that dope. I mean, guys.
I was chasing that amine, bro.
You chase that amine.
But I always want like something sweet, and now I can do like a banana with peanut butter when I get up from my nap, and then at night I got it down to like, because it's not gonna stop. It just, as long as I got to get up to pee.
Yeah.
And with my prostate.
This prostate. I understand.
So it's like now I do like little thin slices of salami and some provolone.
Oh.
And then I have like
Tony Soprano. You just
a little bit, a little gobble, no bread, no bread. Yeah,
straight in.
It's crazy. And when you tell people you can't lose weight because you keep eating at night.
You look great.
Thank you.
They look like a V.
I do have. I've always had a nice back.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I'd love to see it. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey!
Hey, Jay, show him your best part.
Speed's on fire.
No, I'm not.
You were in
just having
traffic a
hard
long time, weren't you?
Yeah, why do you have this meeting at Paramount?
Because it's right by my house.
I understand now.
Where do you live?
Not at Paramount.
What kind of money do you make?
How much money do you pull down?
Any gay stuff?
You're like me.
You ever seen a ghost? Answer any of those.
This is what I do on my pod. I must have learned it from you. Mine are, have you ever almost died? You ever poop your pants? You ever see an alien, a ghost, some phenomenon you can't understand?
You know, I've answered all these questions on You Made It Weird podcast.
Well, you had Holmes. 2 in 1. You almost died in a plane crash, and then you saw human beings are the noblest.
Yeah,
of
I got
creatures.
the data. They're sent to Earth
You
to
got 2
co-create
together.
with God.
Yeah,
that wasn't an alien though. That was like a God thing.
I didn't think it was an alien. I thought it was a near death and like a God thing. You couldn't explain.
I think aliens would really. Joe Prano is here. So again, I forgot to introduce
All
you.
good.
Joe
they know
Prano
I'm here at this point.
Wearing
Maybe
a.
if you contribute something, it'd be
looks
make
like
yourself noticeable.
What is the orange New York?
It's an old San Francisco Giants hat, but it's
with an NY on it.
Yeah. Well, you know, in New York.
So long ago, they got the letters wrong.
Yeah. An old New York Giants hat. I apologize.
Old New York Giants. I thought it was that. I thought it was a San Francisco.
Yeah.
Hello.
Pete, have you ever seen an alien or a UFO?
No, boy, I really would like to.
See, I'm the other way.
You don't.
I'm all for seeing ghosts.
Oh, okay.
But a UFO, an alien, that takes our, to get into your wheelhouse, as Richard Rohr would say, that takes our story that we follow and kind of turns it on its head.
Yeah, but it's been long turned on its head. It's the cat's out of the bag. You see an alien, you call somebody, nobody cares. We've seen 50 billion.
No, I mean the story of like my higher power, your Christianity, whatever. Like, well, there was this guy Jesus. He revolutionized the world with this cosmic consciousness he had.
Yes.
And he upset. Then you see an alien, you're like, maybe it wasn't that important.
Well, yeah, I don't.
There's life
think
on other planets, so maybe I'll get into heaven. Maybe there's a God over there. I can.
Well,
get down
yeah, you're actually saying something pretty interesting because it just sounds like absolute mania nonsense. But I think underneath it,
where's my old friend Pete?
I'm just kidding. I'm being a bitch for fun.
I like it.
When I was young, I used to think, "What's this?"
I said I like it. I don't like
Yeah, 50-50. Más o menos.
I got so much to ask you because I love your brain.
Listen, I do want to. I think I was joking. I think you said something rather interesting. If there's a human-centric God, isn't actually a God worth having or believing in. If it's Jesus died that humans could go to heaven, that's nonsense. It also only affects 0.000000000. I could bore you with a million more zeros. 1% of living things, and that's the stingiest, most insane model of God I've ever heard of. So any God worth believing in must encompass all, I would say, all consciousness, which would include an alien. So if you have a Jesus that you're using as like a fast pass to get into heaven, yeah, an alien would be challenging. If I saw an alien, of course it'd be an alien. Of course it'd be whatever. As long as the knowing with which that alien knows its experience is the same knowing, that's God.
One of your clips that I assume has gone viral.
I assume it's gone viral.
I
saw it on my TikTok. It must be going viral. It only sends me the best.
It's about believing in God versus believing in nothing.
Is Emily laughing?
Yeah, you got to have it. It's not Emily.
Yeah, believing in God versus believing in nothing, yeah.
Which reads like my son's children's book, The Gift of Nothing.
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh, it's great, yeah. Like, so he decided to get him nothing. But certainly he really loves him, so we'll get him a lot of nothing, so he needs a bigger box for nothing, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you'd like it.
I like that a lot.
Little dog tails wagging in the picture. You know, you can tell they're wagging because they make the little lines next to it.
Movement lines. There's stink lines. There's movement lines.
Stink lines. I forgot completely what I was going to say.
You were going to say the God or nothing bit.
Yeah, but I don't know where I was going
that.
with it. We got sidetracked with Trump and bringing in the person that's actually never worked here a day before in her life.
There, Emily. You know why I do Trump so much is because I accidentally talk like him a lot, and then it makes me think of him. Can I address what you brought up generously?
Please do.
The reason I really like that joke is because underneath it, because a lot of religious people like that joke, and I think that's great too. I am not religious. I like that joke because I'm trying to make the argument that every living thing is in the same boat. We don't know. Faith is not a certainty. Faith is a comfort in an uncertainty, right? It's a feeling of accepting that you've been accepted, that you don't need to know. It's not on your shoulders to know. You're not running the show. It's okay. So I'm trying to make the argument that if you believe in nothing, some people think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe. What I think is really funny is that the nothing people sort of like get this like highfalutin majority.
You're like, we're idiots.
Yeah, that the God people are idiots. And I'm actually trying to say not that God is right and nothing is wrong. I'm trying to say we're saying the same thing, that God is ultimately no thing. It's nothing. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
No thing. A bit that I could never get to work, but I'll say it to you, is I do believe in God. Don't get me wrong. I don't think God exists. Meaning, I don't think you can go somewhere and find something called God. That's Oz. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's Santa Claus. That's not what I believe in. And you can dismiss so much of theism, so much of belief by saying, oh, you really think there's an old man in the sky?
Oh, I'm saying, Sky Daddy.
Fine. The better metaphor would be, so when I say God doesn't exist, God doesn't stand out from itself. God is the ground of being in which I live and move and have my being. So the better metaphor, which Ramana Maharshi used, Rupert Spira used, non-dualists use, is that God is like the screen and we are the movie. So it's the ground of being. It's the substance. It's the only reality there is.
Yeah.
And we have the apparent division of 10,000 things, as they say, I think in Zen. 10,000 things appear on the screen. But really the screen is constant, knowing, luminous, empty, spacious awareness. That's God. You can't go anywhere and find it because you are it. It's looking at your eyes right now. And peace, salvation, heaven is recognizing your nature as that which is aware of your experience. But in the bit, I say, some people think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe. Can't we see? I don't really say this, but I go, that's the same thing. Because if one of the things your nothing does is spontaneously erupt into everything, that's a really magical nothing. That's crazy. Like, so what are we talking about? We're either talking about God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or something called nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree that if nothing is becoming everything, it's pretty magic. It's very godlike, you might say. Then the thing that really made me feel like I had a bit was, and ask the nothing people what happens when you die. You go into nothing. I go, you mean you merge back with your creator? That's heaven, bitch. And that is the best bitch in show business, because it's what I was trying to do. Sorry to compliment my own joke, but what I was trying to do was take the attitude and the skill set of comedy, which is in your face, which is shut the fuck up, which is big karate kicks to the chin. It's amazing. I love comedy, but using it for once in the argument of something other than, like Ricky Gervais being like, you think there's a snake? They told a naked lady to eat an apple. Like, I'm like, we have enough of that.
And then he laughs.
Spot on, Ricky Gervais.
And I actually love Ricky Gervais. I do. I take a little bit of offense at like the straw man that's constantly burned down. And when we can go like, no, we're actually talking about the same thing. We're talking about an unseen, unknowable, ununderstandable phenomena that some people call God, and a lot of those people misuse it and fucking use it to murder and rape and control and coerce. It's horrible. I am not here to defend that. I'm just saying, pick whatever word you want. We're all in this together, and we're all doing the best we can to understand something that's pretty ununderstandable.
Well, I can't speak for myself, but you had Joe at rape.
Yeah. Joe, he loved it. I saw him perk up.
There was some Trump in there. 10,000.
I know, 10,000 things. I love enlightened Trump. It's more like the screen. We're the screen, and God is the metaphor. I'm gonna. By the way, for everyone listening, I'm only gonna do Trump one more time in this podcast.
I'm not the light. I'm just the lantern.
Yeah, there you go. No, you are the light. You're not the lantern.
No, God's the light.
No, you are the light. What else could you be?
Me?
It's funny.
Personally?
You draw a boundary around Jay. That's actually blasphemy. It's saying like God is eternal, God is infinite, God is everywhere. But actually it stops at my skin. That's actually blasphemy. That's saying you're sustaining yourself, that you are this separate thing that somehow stepped away from the infinite.
I heard a guy say once in a meeting, he said, there's a universe and then there's me, which is impossible.
That's right.
I thought that was great.
I think that's great. And let's not get it twisted. I'm not saying we should go around and act like we're running the show or we're special. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
When I recognize love, and I love you.
I love you.
Is me recognizing that in our essence, we're the same. I also happen to like you. That's what we talk about when we say love in human terms, is really we mean an intense affection. Love is actually just the recognition that there is only one knowing, And that knowing with which you know your experience and the knowing with which I know my experience is the same knowing. That's the love that is the universe. God is like an empty room. This room allows anything. We can say anything. We can do anything. The room is not changed, and it gives this hearty yes. It's supporting everything that we're doing. Everything? Everything.
Everything. Depends on who you are. Depends on who you are. Don't waste it.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it.
The best argument I heard an atheist ever say, because they don't do a good job presenting their end of it. They just kind of look down their nose and treat me like I'm the freshman hanging out with a senior.
True.
Is I believe in one less God than you do. And that when I
actually
go, you know what? That's very nice.
I think that's great. I would rather...
There's 10,000 gods out there.
I would rather talk to...
Rama Lama Ding Dong, David Bowie.
Hilarious.
Ching Chong Charlie.
I thought I was offended at Rama Lama Ding Dong. But
why would you be
I like
offended
that
at
you
Rama
sandwiched
Lama Ding
David
Dong?
Bowie in
Going.
between the two.
And poor
Tom
David
Rhodes-
Bowie had to sandwich those.
Tom Rhodes and I listed our gods, and we both had Bowie number 2 separately.
I would rather talk to 1,000 atheists than 1,000 devout believers any day. And I would wager, even though I do like talking about Jesus and I like talking about all sorts of different traditions, I have way more in common with somebody that's just going, I don't know.
I loved your book, Comedy Sex God.
Yeah,
I read it a long time ago.
I understand.
But I also love like how you just, I don't know if they know this about you casually, like you just rolled with Ram Dass.
I rolled with Ram Dass.
And then that made me buy his book, Being Ram Dass.
I would have picked any other book.
Yeah, I got the vibe of that.
And I also, sorry to interrupt.
Any other book like, Old Man in the Sea.
Old Man in the Sea
Post
would have gotten me
Office, Ham on
closer
Rye.
to Ram Dass. No, that was his later in life kind of biography. And
Was it like just this vehicle to like pseudo come out of the closet?
he was gay the whole time.
Right. So
Yeah.
why?
That didn't matter. I mean, like he was open about it though. Anyway, sorry. I just have to interject there and say, if you're interested in Ram Dass, I don't even say go to Be Here Now. I think that's the wrong first step. The best first step, it's on iTunes. It's called, it's called Experiments in Nothing? No, Experiments in Truth. There's a series called Experiments in Truth by Ram Dass, and that's the best place to start. Because hearing him talk is so much better.
Well, I'll fall asleep to like Alan Watts or Ram Dass, but then when
I'll fall asleep if you keep going.
then it shuffles, the YouTube channel will shuffle, and I'll wake up and I don't know where I am or who's talking.
And then you're a flat earther.
And then never. And then
No, I just mean YouTube got you.
And then oh my God, those fucking idiots, those flat earth fucking morons. Nobody's ever fallen off the earth. Case closed.
True.
Laying in bed once, you never heard, "Ah, Dios mío."
Why's it got to be?
It's funnier than, "Oh no."
I agree.
I don't know. That's
and in
what came
Mexico,
out.
is it funnier if a guy goes, "Oh no"? I'm going to say yes.
Puto so chinga madre, cabrón.
But you didn't do it. El puta diga, "Oh no."
No, I went another way. I'm
You
keeping
did.
you guessing.
You're doing it for the editor. And I like it. That wasn't it. That just came out.
Did you vote for Trump?
Twice. Listen.
At one polling station. It's
My
all
God.
rigged.
That's hilarious. I actually think when I try and find some understanding with flat earthers, I don't have to work too hard to find it. Because
What?
I'll tell you.
No, I got a bad ear.
I know. You're very funny.
What?
You're just a lot of fun.
I could barely hear you.
That's great. It was better the second time. That sounds like I'm making fun of you. I really mean it was better the second time. I really loved it.
Now M's coming around.
The performance was
She's
10
like,
out
maybe
of
that
10.
guy is a big
She
deal.
Googled your IMDb.
Maybe he is a big deal. Why, he used to do a lot of stuff. Talking dog movies.
I just wanted to say that
Paul Perazzi.
spirituality is an investigation of your experience.
We still talking about this
Yes,
shit?
it is. I'm going to tie it back to flat
Jesus
earthers.
Christ.
Believe it or not. Believe it or not, like it's going to be that amazing. I'm just saying there's something healthy to going, I don't think what this is what they tell me. And I think flat earthing, is that what it's called, is just sort of like a misguided, it's so close to the scientific process. You know what I mean? It's so close to like healthy engagement with
No, it's not. It's
curiosity.
not close at all to.
No. They fall short of the process, but it's the beginning of like, wait, what? It's a hypothesis, but then they stop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Similarly to spirituality, you go like, wait, I don't know, what is this? What I'm saying is, I hate to see it go bad. I love to see human curiosity and human skepticism get kind of co-opted by such a, in my interpretation, such a desperate need to be special and to be other and to not be a fool and to have other people be a fool so you can up your status. That's what it seems like to me. But it started kind of with something maybe earnest.
Well,
and
I
maybe
understand how
good.
it starts. Like, I'm looking at the floor right now. It's flat, so therefore the earth must be flat. Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But then in the eyes of all logic to the country, let's do a whole thing about conspiracy morons after this break, because I want to talk to people about something important to me. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp.
You have to say that. I mean, if you don't say that, you're going to get some make goods.
I'll start it over so we don't have to edit.
Do it again.
Give it up. This episode is brought to you. Whoops. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/more stories will get you 10% off your first month. First month of what? Being the best you could be, maintaining your mental health. Look, man, this isn't the old days. The society views on getting well mentally are completely different than they used to be. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Ask Tracy.
Hey, you gotta
I made myself feel better by going to BetterHelp.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp got me pregnant.
It got me so pregnant.
Mental health awareness, my friends. They even got a whole month for it now. But look, with BetterHelp, HELP.com, you don't need that month. You can get started right now. Hey, maybe you got a problem with establishing boundaries. Because I hear people saying they're people pleasers all the time. Really? If you think you're a people pleaser, do me a favor. Write down a list of all the people that are pleased with you right now. I bet it's not that many. What you are is a validation addict, just like me.
Oh, that's
but
fabulous.
You label it as a people pleaser.
Let me ask you this. Is it easy to switch therapists at any time?
You can switch there are over 30,000 therapists, my good friend.
Wow.
30,000.
Wait, but is it easy to switch a therapist?
It is very easy. They make
and it's all done from the comfort of my own home?
No extra cost. You get to switch therapists. My friends, get 10% off, not your first session, your first month. More stories. MOHRSTORIES. BetterHelp.com/more stories. You deserve to be the best you. Let's go. You seem to
I feel
enjoy
like
that.
You missed something in here.
You seem to enjoy that people pleasing thing.
Yeah, I've been struggling with that my whole life.
Well, you actually strike me as a guy that does have a list of people he has pleased. But I go to, a 12-step area where it's people my problem's I'm a real people pleaser. It's like, you have 11 days sober. I doubt there's a lot of pleased people out there.
Is that a bit?
No.
I think it should be a good bit. That's a great bit.
So you feel like you need to please
We're recording
people?
this, so I'll remind you.
Yeah. Joe's got it. Poor Joe sitting there listening to me.
Well, if he wants to fucking
talk about fucking mysteries of the universe. Honestly, that's a very nice question.
What were you going to say, Joe?
Yeah. He's gone.
Are you a people pleaser, Pete?
Thank you, Joe.
You're going to repeat my question on that bit?
Well, because I was interested in his answer.
This one you just talked to me about the Mets.
He was getting ready to answer.
That's why you don't get headphones.
I was actually kind of moved by.
That's why you don't get headphones, Joe.
Question.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I spent so much of my life thinking that being nice, pleasing people, was like the highest thing, which obviously excludes me from.
You skip yourself.
The highest expression, meaning it's taken me a long time in my life to go. No, my feelings are also valid, and my boundaries are valid. So I'm trying to be better about it.
You know what I did when I was really, really high for money because I couldn't get booked anywhere because I was unhireable.
Why? Because you were on drugs.
Oh yeah. I was a life coach, and I was great at it.
I bet you were awesome.
I was so good
ripping at it. Like Charlie Sheen,
just getting right to it.
Yeah, winning.
Winning life.
Here's how you can
and I'd
win.
be like, you say you're a people pleaser, but you're a people, and you keep skipping you, so you're not a people pleaser unless you take care of yourself. Snort a fat rail, get back to work.
I know. You and I both have to keep an eye. Is that nicotine?
Yeah, would you like one?
No.
Lovely with foreskin.
Foreskin Zin? Foreskin flavored Zin?
I wish.
Forzin?
I really wish.
No, Forzin.
Have you ever seen a ghost? I asked you that earlier.
No, I've never seen a ghost. Well, I'll actually give you a little bit more right after this. BetterHelp is actually not accredited. I'm just kidding. They are. They are. Edit it out. Edit it out.
Live, numbnuts.
It's not live.
That's why I was so mad at Em. She fucked up our live feed.
It's not live. You would have given me a hearty talking to if it was live.
Give me
Listen.
you can only listen to one album for 1 year. What's the album?
Boxer by The National. When I... What?
I mean, don't you want to hear some singing?
I love...
First of all, I love The National.
What's wrong with my answer then?
I know.
It's not because it's the best album. It's not because it's the best album.
I am a bully.
It's because of my tie to it. That's why we resonate. Why is like, do they put so much effort when an album comes out?
Show for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I love that song.
Not enough to make it a good answer.
He hated it.
When I go home to my mom's house, and I don't stay in her house anymore. But
My mom died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But what were you saying? Enjoy your mom.
What I was saying was... Enjoy your mom.
Enjoy your mom.
Enjoy that sentient being, that biped, that life-enhanced biped.
Enjoy your mom.
Mine's in an urn next to my dad's Barker Lounger.
Wow.
And his book on boats.
Wow. Okay, listen. When I would go home to my mom's house, enjoy her.
Single tear.
Enjoy the moms. I would sleep in my old childhood bedroom, and we used to have this cat named Clem. I know this is boring, but it's almost over. Yeah. Clem died in the house. And
tying this back to the ghost story.
This is the ghost story.
Let's go.
That's right, Joe. And every time, reliably, every morning I would wake up in my mom's, in my old childhood bedroom in my mom's house. I would wake up, and I would be awake. So let's get all that you were asleep stuff. And I would actually wait. I would wait because I knew it was going to happen. I'd just lay there, and the cat would jump on the bed. Cat's gone. Cat's dead. And I'd feel it walk and lay down and curl up next to me, and I would feel the weight of the cat.
I love that.
And it would happen every single time. It wasn't...
Ghost cat.
Ghost cat.
Day one, Coachella, real fine print at the bottom of the poster. Ghost cat.
Why is it fine print?
Because they're like an up-and-coming band.
Oh, I understand. It's like yeahs.
Yeah.
And huge, and then Ghost Cat.
Gold line, gonna show you where the land is. Well, how about a round of applause for Ghost Cat?
Ghost Cat opened up. Yeah.
Tuesday.
I don't know if it would be Boxer, but it probably would be a national record. Oh, maybe. Oh, wait, I have a better answer. And I think this might be it. In Rainbows.
Ooh, I like that answer, Pete.
Sonically perfect.
Fantastic album.
And I have a big emotional tie to it. And I'm not saying that to be cool, like Radiohead. I love that album. I listen to it endlessly.
I'm not
extended one, too. Because
I listened to that, and I tried to figure out how they made some. I was like, is that in reverse? Is that sideways? What the fuck's happening here?
The drums.
It's so good.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
What's your album?
Maybe Graceland, Paul Simon.
Good choice. We listen to that constantly.
Maybe Wildflowers, Tom Petty.
Great.
You belong.
You know, he did that in like one take.
Yeah.
It's crazy he wrote it.
Sounds about right.
You know, that sounds right, actually. You're hosting.
Any gay stuff?
No, I had a friend named Chaz growing up, and we were like confused. I remember we never touched each other, but we were both so horny. We were the horniest boys that we were like, and we had no girls, and we were like, it got a little gay.
Jerking off to fuzzy porn together, or like
sticks. Honestly, if it was, I would tell you.
Tummy sticks.
We used to draw naked girls all the time, and then we would play this game where he would be a prostitute and I'd be the John, but he never touched me. He never touched me. I would tell you if he did.
That's how usually how it goes.
It was all financial interaction.
It was just the money.
Findom.
No, I remember he'd come in and he'd kind of butterfly around the room. He was being a girl, and I was just laying there.
Well, my album would be Miles Davis, Kind of Blue.
Good choice.
Yeah,
you ever listen to the
nobody
the
gave a
limited
shit.
We cared, but we knew you were going to tell us.
I know. I'm such a fucking...
No, you're not.
I only asked so I can get mine in.
I'm the same. We're the same. It's okay.
Richard Rohr. Have you met Richard Rohr?
Richard Rohr did my podcast this week.
What? He's in town? Way to go, Kyle.
He did it over Zoom. I'm closer with Richard than I was with Ramdas. Richard is my spiritual father.
I love Falling Upward, and I love what you just said.
And also the book.
I feel like in AA, I got like hundreds of fathers. I got like this.
I collect dads too.
This paper dolls, this never-ending like guys with advice. Like when you're in an elevator and the mirrors touch and you see your reflection go. Brrr.
Of course.
Yeah, like that with like men in my life that are beautiful.
Great.
And I had a great dad.
Yeah.
But I was an insatiable kid.
Yeah.
Like more attention, more affection, more knowledge, more information. What's that you have? Booze? Game on.
Yeah. Booze is a tricky one because if you like attention, it will always give you attention. It will always do something to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have this allergy to it where I need more the second it touches me. And I heard a lady
I also have that allergy. I'm just saying that's why I liked it.
I didn't know you had it.
When I drink it, I go, this always shows up.
I want this.
Well, obviously I have the firing of the overreaction of the like of it.
I know that about you.
But it's also, I like it that it's I'm not saying this in a good way. It's reliable.
Oh, it's very reliable.
It will get you drunk, and it will make you hungover. It'll do what it does. I'm not saying every drunk was the same, but that was what was very appealing to me. And I also if you're insatiable and you just want to see how much you can do of something, stay away from alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
And when people get sober, they go like, well, I hear it all the time. Like, I drank because when I was a kid, I was molested, or my uncle beat my father's ass in front of me. It's like, I love to be high. Yeah. I love to be effed up. Like, I love it. That's why I do it. And my
any feeling other than ecstasy is intolerable.
My ism, alcoholism, drug, whatever it is,
Judaism,
totally precedes the first time I ever took a drink.
I completely
more.
No, at the bottom of mine is like a sadness and a mourning that I have to feel anything other than just absolute perfection.
I feel like with me,
alcohol doesn't deliver that. I don't have to be clear about that, right?
No. I understand. I hate that you have sadness at all because you're such a beautiful guy.
I appreciate that. I just mean like there's a part of me that's like a little baby that's like, I should be jizzing all day.
Oh, now you're
like
talking.
Babies do.
Well, yeah.
Depends on which babies.
It's true.
With me, it was more like I felt like I was always lacking data. Like, you guys all knew something I didn't. You guys all hung out. You guys knew where to go, where the place was, where the thing was, where to get the red Solo cup, where in the woods to stand. Yeah. And then when I drank, I just got filled with like, no, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got all the data.
Nearly two drinks. Have you seen that sketch?
No.
I actually think, again, I don't think alcohol is evil. It's not for me. And there's this great sketch that talks about the virtues of having nearly two drinks. So it's like you've had one glass of wine and you're like halfway through your second. And that, what you're talking about is that feeling of like, I am invited. You know what I mean? Well, that goes to Richard Rohr. Richard Rohr says the meaning, what the goal of life, or your goal should be, I guess you could say, is to accept that you are accepted. That's one of the many things written on my bathroom mirror is accept that you've been accepted. Accept that you are accepted. That there's all this, like, when Richard did my podcast this week, we were talking about how so many of our perceptions or our ideas of God is intermingled with our psychology. And I know you had a good father. I had a good father too, but there was some like uncertainty and some wildness. And that dad that you want to like you and accept you kind of gets mixed with your God. And this happens in the Bible writers too. They're doing this as well, that God is punitive, God is angry, God is drunk dad. God's a drunk dad, and he's going to whoop your ass, especially if he sees who you really are. And that is just, have a better God.
Then the New Testament rolls around, Jesus as God, player's coach.
Hey
guys, come on. I'm not going to give you a curfew. You're going to do what you got to do. Just, be on time. Let's hit some free throws.
He's a player's coach. That's
very funny. Disciplinary. You got Bill Parcells, Old Testament. You got Pete Carroll, New Testament.
That cooler full of water. Wine now. Enjoy it.
It's interesting. I'm not saying this to be contrarian, but like Jesus, maybe I am. Jesus does get sort of like cartoonized into, but he's fierce. And
he was a radical, as T.D. Jake says. Jesus was radical.
Yeah, sure.
Jesus was a problem.
Well, Jesus certainly was a problem. Yeah, for sure.
What Rob Bell said was, because I never understood in the Bible why they wanted to let Barabbas go with the crucifixion. Barabbas?
I think people say Barabbas.
Barabbas. And it's in capitals, like, who should we let go? Barabbas! They're going crazy. Yeah. And Pastor Rob Bell goes, because it was an away game for Jesus. That Jesus was like, if Jesus was alive today, he'd be standing in front of the tanks in Tiananmen Square. He'd be in the Ramones. Yeah. He'd be throwing rocks at cops like, no, Occupy Wall Street. Yeah. And then, but it was an away game for Jesus. So Barabbas was their local troublemaker. They didn't even know who this guy from Nazareth was.
Yeah. Get this.
He's got a rope for a belt. Who is this guy?
The thing that excites me more than the historical implications or the political implications about Jesus is he says some really badass. I'm not saying that in like a fucking dumbass fucking Christian, like, my wife's a firecracker. Like, I mean, like, really interesting things. Like, his parents are looking for him and they find him, not when he was a kid, when he's a grown up, and they find him and he's teaching to this room full of people, and they're like, your mom is looking for you. And he goes, I don't have a mom. He's like, this is my mom. Because that's somebody with unitive consciousness. He doesn't have a special relationship with his mother. And he also said, I didn't come to bring brother. He's purported to say.
I come to praise Caesar. I came to bury him. Yeah.
That's Gladiator. Oh. He said, I didn't come to bring brother to brother. I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. I came to divide people. Like, I'm here to, it's actually very inconvenient what I'm saying. Because the egos love, governments love, countries love, tribes love, special, in, out, Samaritan, Jew, Gentile, all that division. And Jesus tells so many stories. I've tried to do this on stage as a stand-up. It's so stupid. I shouldn't have tried. But I'm like, the way that Jesus is talking about God's love, it's actually offensive to us. Because we want, if I'm being honest, I do too. I want Jesus to love me. I want God to love me, Pete. But he tells these stories, like he tells the story of the wealthy landowner. I used to say, you're reading the Bible when you read the phrase wealthy landowner. There's so many stories about wealthy landowners. And he hires 3 guys to work in his fields. The first guy, and he says, show up tomorrow at 9. I'm just telling it the way I tell it. Don't hold the text up to this, but this is basically the essence of the story. First, he says, come tomorrow at 9. First guy shows up at 9, works until 5. Second guy shows up at 11, works until 5. Third guy shows up at 3 p.m., shows up at 5. And the landowner pays them all the same. That's God's love. It's actually offensive. You would prefer, and if you're being honest,
I'm the 3 o'clock guy.
Of course,
we're comics.
We're all the 3 o'clock guys. What I'm saying is, Richard Rohr says, when we try to do something for God or in God's name, or like to be virtuous or good or to earn something, it's like a child giving a parent a badly drawn butterfly with crayons. It's terrible, but he loves it. It goes right on the fridge because you were already in. You get paid the same because you can't divide infinity. Do you understand? You can't become. Oh, I'll put it in Jay Mohr terms. I'm just kidding. I was trying to be an asshole. You can't become what you already are. You're not on a journey to become God's child.
Right.
You can't be anything other than. That's what I was saying about the boundary you draw around wicked little life coach.
But see, if I'm an atheist, everything you're saying is absurd to me, right?
If you're an atheist, I would
God's
say
child.
I would say I would.
There was a big pile of rocks, and then life happened, and then here I am, and then I die, and I go back to the pile of rocks.
I understand.
So like,
I that's a weird monkey wrench to throw in my beautiful point that I was making. But JK,
I don't know if you've noticed the pattern.
Asshole.
Every time you shit on me, I throw a monkey wrench in your bit.
Asshole. When do I say an asshole? I shit on you? Am I touching you too much?
I like it.
Too little?
Yeah.
Nice dry hands.
Thank you.
First of all, I sort of take slight issue with being like, and then over here, the atheists. I would actually say that this language is for the atheist as much as it's for a Christian. In fact, if I was talking to a Christian, they would probably take issue with what I was saying. And they would say, because Jesus died is why everyone gets paid the same. They would bring in atonement theory, which is the Christianity du jour. And I would be like, I don't think that's what the Gospels are saying at all. And we would have an argument. An atheist is far more likely to hear me saying, what I would say is, you didn't come into this world. You came out of this world. You are a lawful expression of this world. You are as valid and belonging as anything in this world. And we can all agree that the hard problem, the phenomenon of our life is consciousness, is knowing. And God in the Old Testament said, I am that I am. Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am.
The hardest hip-hop lyric of all time. Before Abraham was, I am.
I know.
It's so badass.
He also said, I and the Father are one. He didn't say Jesus and the Father are one. He said, I and the Father are one. And I would argue that the I that you are and the I that you are and the I that I am is the same I.
left out, Kyle.
That's right. Well, Kyle's not really on camera, so I'm not including him.
He's very dull.
But if we were to broaden it to the atheist and to stick the landing on the point, I would say we're talking about the phenomenon of consciousness, of awareness. And God in the Old Testament, we can even exclude that. We're just saying, my God is the knowing with which you know yourself to be an atheist, and I know myself to be someone who believes in God. We're in the same boat.
You make it all I hope you write another book about just this stuff, because every time you speak, I go, that's how I wish I could explain it. Like every time I've ever had a conversation about that thing. When you're walking your dog and you go, why do I rush to get my dog back? Like, why? My dog could crap, and then I go back because I got to do the next thing, and then some days you're like, no, I'm just walking my dog.
Yeah,
I think about you almost every day when I walk my dogs.
I love that.
And like, what is this? Like, what is this?
Yeah,
that giant? And that hit me looking at a fish in a lake on a trail, and I'm like, that fish just sits there all day, eating small fish, hoping a bigger fish doesn't eat. It's not really a worthy existence to the fish. It doesn't even know of existence. And then I go, oh shit, here I am again, diving into what is this?
I wonder if this is interesting to you. What I like to say to someone who has no need for spiritual language whatsoever is I go, in deep sleep is a really good touchstone for this kind of understanding, right? And I got this from Rupert Spira, and if you want to read Rupert Spira, he wrote a book called Being Aware of Being Aware, and I think it's fabulous. But anyway, in deep sleep, what your experience is consciousness without an object. That means you're naked knowing. Naked meaning, right now I'm knowing you, I'm knowing the feeling of my butt in my chair, but all of us have the experience of being luminous emptiness is a Buddhist term, but being naked knowing. I prefer that. Knowing without something to know. Just, the being, you are being, but there's nothing to know, and that's why when you wake up, your brain deletes it. There was nothing to know, so you just kind of move on with your day. But when I'm in that place, in deep sleep, meaning I'm not constantly reminding myself, I am Pete, I'm from Boston, I'm 46, I am or am not comfortable, I am or am not hungry, I'd like to get a coffee after this, all that stuff.
I'm here, you're there.
If we can sweep all of that away and just be the naked knowing, which is what you are in your experience, that knowing is the same knowing as everyone and everything. And the nature of that knowing is peace and happiness. So the answer isn't to go out and be on SNL or be in Jerry Maguire or be in Sweet Dreams and steal the movie, frankly. Those are short gains. The answer is, can we reflect our divinity to one another? And that just means our inherent dignity, I suppose, or your true nature is what I would say. And can we get in touch with the nature of our true nature, which is equanimity, complete fulfillment.
What's equanimity mean? It's a word I hear.
Peace. It's a fancy word for peace.
Okay. Yeah. You said earlier about I am accepted.
Accept that you are accepted.
That's Richard Rohr. Is that something you've wrestled with your whole life, about not feeling accepted?
Of course, yeah. When you said I'm not invited to the party, yeah, for sure. And that's you don't. I don't know. We might be different, but I don't think you get into the razzle dazzle business if you're not really trying to fill up a hole.
It wasn't until I was in recovery where I feel completely like my complete psychic change, having worked the work, like going into any room on earth and feeling completely that I belong. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And I go right up to a person, get there early, ask if I can help with anything. It's like the basic tenets of what I was taught by like a sponsor. Yeah. Like you got to get there a half hour early, ask them if they need help with anything. Yeah. Then you go to a wedding, you don't know anybody at the wedding. You get there early, you're like, do you guys need help with anything? And 4 people are like, yeah, could you help us move in this thing? Because we're going to show this video montage. Yeah. And then the wedding's kicking off and you have like 18 friends and everybody's like, how does he know everybody at this wedding?
That's beautiful.
It's because I took part in it.
Right. Well, yeah, you saw your shared participation.
Yeah. And it started as like a task to keep my sponsor happy because I wanted to please him, that people pleasing. And I've never been a fan of like when people go like, I really love myself now. Like that's such a weird concept to me. Like I love myself. Yeah. Like I like the way I roll. Like it's the coolest way I could put it.
Yeah.
But like I wanted I took so many commitments early, and I was of service all the time because he recommended I do it. But I really wanted him, this new father figure in my life that I told all my secrets to. I wanted to impress him. I wanted him to be like, wow, thank God that guy showed up to this program.
Yeah.
It was really going downhill. Like, this program that's been
we
around.
were helping radio. Turns out radio was helping us.
Yeah. Since 1939, we've been waiting for this guy to roll through this 12-step program.
Too, yeah.
But then trying to get his approval, I wound up getting my own approval from doing the actions, from going early, sweeping the floors, cleaning the toilets, visiting people in hospitals.
Well, it's funny.
If you want self-esteem, do esteemable acts.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off or try to cut you off.
It just popped into my head at the buzzer.
I loved it.
I was like, where am I going with this?
I think the pressure of me interrupting helped you get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. We're the same. I think when it comes to loving yourself, I don't like everything that Pete does. But like the most powerful mantra to me, I say it. It's the first thing I say every day is yes, thank you. It's in the book. Yes, thank you, and like extending that allowance to yourself. So when I say I love myself, and I do, it's the same love. You know how they say one love? It's the love for what is. That doesn't mean everything that Pete does gets my golden Nintendo seal of approval. It just means.
I guess I feel more like, well, I don't even know me to love me. Like, it's like, how do you feel about...
Well, now you're onto it because you don't even exist. Who are you from moment to moment?
It's like, who's your favorite Japanese baseball player? Like, I have
Honestly,
no idea who they are.
I completely agree. There's certain behaviors and habits and things that I can attest to.
I'm doing, if I'm the only member of the species you met today, I'm doing a good job.
Nice.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Compare and despair.
Do you wake up happy? Do you wake up like, ugh?
I'm a morning person. I fucking love the morning.
Joe wakes up like with doom.
Yeah.
And I think yours is the more common. People wake up with doom. Kyle, when you wake up?
More neutral, really.
Oh, nice.
Neutral's good. I wake up fired to fuck up, Petey.
Me too. Yeah, we're similar.
And I'm such a whore for sunshine. Like when it's cloudy for like 3 months.
I know.
Oh, I can't do it.
Portland's not for us.
No. And people would say, oh, I love the rain. I'm like, well, then go fuck yourself. Fucking rain lover.
What are you, an almond plantation?
What are you, fucking... What are you, a fucking umbrella?
Yeah, but there's like three types. There really are, I don't know. There really are morning people, there really are night people, and there really are neutral people. It's funny that we represent all three. I just learned that in a TED Talk. But they were talking about, like, you need to identify your type. I feel so lucky.
I was never a morning person. Not even having children made me a morning person. I hired somebody so I could sleep until 1.
Nice. Em laughed.
But
wasn't a funny line, but she laughed in this sort of.
But Richard Rohr in Falling Upward talks about the two halves of life, and there has to be that chaotic conflict for that halftime in order to start acting the way all the contents you took in the first half of life, and you use them in the second half of life. Because if you're still acting how you acted in the beginning of your journey, it causes this incredible conflict. Guys like you and me, we're obsessed with stand-up comedy. I have to get on stage. I don't care what the hell's going on in my life. I'm getting in my car, I'm going. Everybody else can get fucked. I got to do this. If we act like this in our 40s and 50s with children and wives, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
That crazy great white swimming, eat, fuck, going through the world just with that single purposeness. So like Richard Rohr's thing in Falling Upward is you here's all the contents of your container, and then the second half, I'm paraphrasing, is okay, now go ahead. Like now you get to like use them and have a good time with them.
Yeah. I would add to that the first half of life is figuring out that it doesn't work. That achievement, I'm not saying it doesn't work in some practical ways. And even, I think it's learning that what you're actually craving and yearning for isn't a trophy or an experience even. I think you have to, like I said, you have to settle back into who you are. So at the Temple of Delphi, and it says, know thyself, that doesn't mean figure out your favorite ice cream and figure out your favorite movie and your favorite sports team and your favorite pair of pants and what you like and what kind of guy am I? Am I a morning person? I think that's what we've turned it into, the West. It means know your essence, know the part of you that can't be removed from you. And once you figure out that essence, again, Rupert Spira says you can like settle into it like a warm bath. Like even right now, one of the reasons why I feel so good right now isn't because we're doing this podcast, it's because I'm trying to like keep a tether to my true identity. Because I think when we have a great set or something, we're actually being liberated to taste our true identity. You just kind of feel free. But once you realize you can just go there,
yeah,
you can just go there. You need those things less.
And like you said about like the accomplishments, like the things that drove us. I got to get a TV show. I got to get this. I got to get on the show. I got to do this. I got to headline that place. We see people in their 60s and 70s that are still like that, and they stand out as like these sad.
Yeah.
Can't like think of anybody off the top of my head. I wouldn't name them if I could.
Yeah,
but it's like, wow, that guy doesn't get it.
Well, yeah, that's why my hero is Richard Rohr. You know, is people like that, and Rupert Spira, and
imagine putting out a book, and the publisher is like, you know, your like Franciscan monk monastery, and all proceeds just, I don't know, none of it goes to you. Like that's so admirable, and that's why I haven't written a book about recovery, because I can't separate my, like, how's it doing?
Yeah.
Did I make the New York Times bestseller list? Or do I really want to help people? I know it would help people, but I can't separate my ego from it. And also, I like being lazy. Mostly, probably the last one the most.
Yeah, probably the most. I would say we'll take help however we can get it. Meaning, I'm kind sometimes because I want to feel like a kind person and to go to bed at night being like, I'm okay. We'll take kindness however we can.
What time do you go to bed? Ish.
10:30.
Yeah. So when you do stand-up, it's like getting in the way of...
Well, I do 7 o'clock shows.
Me too.
Yeah.
If I could do a nooner, I would bang that out.
That's my opening line. I don't want you to think I stole it.
No,
whenever I tour around, I go, do you have any idea how badly I want to do this job at noon?
Real? Oh.
Because it lets you know who I am. I might do night shows, but I want you to know this is against my will.
Oh, but was it Batave? Where was I? Where the first show Saturday was at 6.
I love it.
And I was like, this is amazing. It's still daylight out.
I want a coffee crowd, not a booze crowd.
Do you do meet and greets?
No.
It's weird. It's like you were just this god, and then it's like,
tell Jesus. Me. Now you're on earth.
Tell me about your uncle who has a mustache.
That was a joke, by the way. I'm just saying that's like the God, Old Testament God on stage, and then you're just in Nazareth.
I don't get it.
Well, Jesus was with the people. He was on earth as a person.
He had to be with the people.
I was trying to yes-and your thing, and then I got very worried that people would think that I'm Jesus walking around with.
No, we know you're Jesus.
We're gonna cut it so it sounds like you said that.
We're gonna have the dog. We're gonna make the dog say it.
I like it very much. I used to do meet and greets.
I used to do them too, and then I was complaining about it to Tim Ferriss, 4-hour work week, and he says, "Well, why do
you don't?"
What?
Not with a meet and greet, you don't.
He goes, "Why do you want to do it?" I said, "Because I don't get to rest if I sell merch, because I'm in a hurry and I can't say and dies. If I sell merch in between shows, I never get to rest." He goes, "Then why do you do it?" I go, "Because they want to buy it from me. They want to shake my hand. That way they'll come back and see me."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, what about your act? Isn't that why they're going to come back and see you? Do you really want to be a vendor?" And he said vendor like cancer. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I feel weird, like selling them a shirt after I just did this magnificent thing.
I have the same feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I look up to you, so.
I don't do...
I do look up to you. That's not a joke.
Oh, that's nice of you, man.
You're the most effortless stand-up guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling him in the elevator. My wife and I quote him when the dog poops before she pees. We're like, somebody hit shuffle.
It's one of my favorites.
That's a good one. I'm on Manjaro, so I take the weirdest dumps.
You're on Jaro?
Manjaro, it's like Ozempic.
Oh, okay.
That's how I lost all the weight.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I exercise every day, of course, and I eat
You don't
great.
got Ozemp bod.
No, neither does.
Some Ozemp bods, they lose the weight in the face first, and they just kind of look like Skeletor.
I think that's more like not exercising and still eating gallons of ice cream, because I don't get it. I don't know anybody on it that looks that way.
But they say on the Ozemps, like you lose muscle. I don't want to do it. My doctor, how LA is my doctor? I know, look at that. That he's like, lose 10 pounds or I'm going to put you on it. I'm like, no.
I had a fatty liver. Like I was pre-diabetic. He called me obese, my doctor, which hurt.
Did he take out the little wheel? How old is this man?
He was pretty young. He's hip.
Really?
Yeah, he did all my blood panels and stuff, and he said, "I'd like to talk to you about the."
But
results.
he got obese. This?
Well, he doesn't have eyes. He had to look at my.
Is this obese?
No. When I was in the movie,
I
when I was fatso. When I was fatso.
I like 3 guys who grew up in the 80s just being like, fatso.
It's best insult of all time, isn't it?
Fatso. Hey, fatso.
Hey, get a load of fatso.
Look at fatso over here.
Like, there's nothing.
Slow down. How about slow down, fatso?
Slow down, fatso. Fatso. Have you ever been caught masturbating?
Yes. My brother caught me once.
So
I was done, though, and I pulled my pants up. This is embarrassing. He came in, and it's one of those baggy flies, you know, like you could see my stuff, kind of, and he goes, is that ice?
Oh.
We still haven't talked about it. He goes, is that ice?
Well, it just happened.
And then he just left. He was like, he just left.
Did you guys share a bedroom?
No.
He just came in.
He was coming in from next door. And
let's be honest. He came in to see if he can catch you jerking off.
Is that ice?
Is that ice?
Is that ice?
Kyle, you were never asked this question. You don't have a mic.
Oh, I mean, I have. I've been caught. Yeah.
I was watching the Cars after school. I rushed home. MTV was new, you know. And they played videos with like cleavage and stuff. And it was the Cars. Summer got me upside down. And he would like water walk. Rick Ocasek was on a pool. Like he walked on water because they had glass under the water, you know.
We think.
And he was just standing. All right, you never know with him.
You never know.
He produced Bad Brains. You never know.
You never know. Could have been real.
He produced Bad Brains.
The Bad Brains guy. He could walk on water.
And there was a lot of like bikini chicks in there. I was on the couch punching my clown, and my sister and my mom walked in from the grocery store.
Of course.
And I pulled up my pants. I ran out the front door.
Yep.
I went right to Joel Martin and Danny Martin, the 2 brothers at the end of my street.
I know the Martins, yeah.
I know you do. And then I was like, you'll never guess what happened to me. And as I'm saying it, as I get halfway through the story, they both go, no, I don't fucking do that, man. Like threw their hands up like I was and I was the leper from that moment forward.
I hate that time.
And my high school had like a nickname for me. The story evolved. The story evolved that I was laying on the coffee table. And I got caught jerking off. So they called me, my last name being Mohr, they started calling me Cremora.
Oh my God.
So like if somebody really just wanted like to really cripple me.
That's like horror stories.
They go, hey, Cremora. I'd be like slinging jokes and this in class. And they'd be like, what'd you get on your test, Cremora?
Wow. I don't quite get it.
Cream.
Wow.
Like when you come, it maybe looks like a non-dairy creamer. Is that ice? Is that ice?
There was only one VCR in our house, obviously, and
I
my
remember.
brother had pornography tapes in a Nike box in his closet, but there was nowhere to watch them, and my mom was on a walk, and I put them in the thing, and I remember, this is so humiliating. I was on my knees. It's the middle of the day, so I'm just jerking off, looking at the TV, and I'm on my knees, and then I saw my mom walking up the driveway. I still don't know if she saw me. She looked like she was lost in thought. Like she was like really working out something with Dad in her mind. And I, got the tape, ran upstairs. How little kid is this? I came back because I knew she probably clocked that I was there. And she came in and she's in the kitchen and she's acting weird. I don't know if it's me or there's something else. And I go, I'm looking through all the old Nintendo games. Some of these are worth a lot of money. That's what I said. I remember saying, some of these are worth a lot of money.
It's like, yeah, that's weird. But I get it.
Why not just kill yourself? That would have been a better play.
I don't want her to think I was jerking off. I'll make her think I was autistic.
Yeah, exactly. Mario 3, resale.
I think Mario 3, is that the one with like vines and stuff? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Donkey Kong Jr. That was an underrated game.
I like this.
You want to know what else is underrated? It was on TV yesterday. My wife and I laid in bed post-coitus and enjoyed Rocky 3. Stunningly great movie.
Mario 3?
No, Rocky 3. The movie. Rocky. You heard of Sylvester Stallone?
You heard?
Italian guy?
Yeah, the Italian
And
stallion.
he fights the Mr. T.
Yeah, I don't...
Shut up, old man! Hey, woman! When you come down here, get with a real man. Like, Rocky 3's incredible.
Hulk Hogan and Mr. T in one movie.
Thunder Lips.
I'm not really into those. I like the first one.
Well, our guest has been Pete Holmes. That's an hour, kid.
I also don't like wrestling.
I've never watched Game of Thrones, and I refuse to.
Me too.
Fuck out of here, Game of Thrones.
Get the fuck out of here. There's a
Fuck
map.
outta here.
There's a map? You want me to learn the terrain?
I like maps. Like in a book with a map. Like,
he's autistic.
Then we took the North Hill in Kaisan. I'm like, let me go back and see what he's talking about.
Wow, this guy flips to the back of the Bible.
No, the front.
The Bible, the map's in the back.
Well, this one is in the front. Maybe
yours.
yours.
In the front. Pope
Well,
in the
I
room.
read it like the Quran. I go right to left.
Or the Talmud. Yeah, sure.
Baruch atah. What would your porn name be, Pete?
John Holmes.
Fair enough. More stories. Put your name on it. Go catch Pete on tour. He does not do meet and greets, but maybe you can sway him. Yeah. Better help.
You can linger, and you'll see me.
Jay Mohr's my uncle.